It is 0400. We are loaded up in the truck this morning, getting ready to head out to Texas. Got our Beard Vet coffee. Got a little mule deer hunting going on, so hopefully we'll get an 8-hour drive in, get our tags, get everything ready to go, and we should be hunting mule deer by 3 o'clock this afternoon. Got a little unfinished business. Last year's trip, first day out, had an encounter with about a 190-inch muley, so we're looking for a little redemption. So hopefully we can get that done for you this week, and we're going to get there, and we'll see you in the stand. So after an 8-hour drive, we get out to the Texas Panhandle. We got the bow out to make sure it arrived okay and didn't get any damage in the trip. You always want to do that, check your bow when you make a long drive like that, and just as soon as we determined the bow was good, we were after the mule deer.
I just wanted to check to make sure the coast was clear. We got in here a little bit ago. We've got a blind set up down in this hole. We've got a food source to one side of us. We've got a water source to the other. And so we're just going to make our way down there slow before the evening feed. So hopefully we see something tonight. If not, we'll be back here in the morning. So let's go. Okay, so we're back in the north central Texas Panhandle. Same spot we were turkey hunting this spring. I bow hunted out here for mule deer last year. Phenomenal hunting out here. Didn't get it done. So we're ground blind hunting, which is okay. This is pretty rough country. Not really into the whole spot and stalk thing. So what we got is we got a food source, like I said, back up behind us this way. We've got a water source back here, and they travel between the two several times a day. That's just how the muleys are. And we've got one buck in particular that the landowner really wants us to take out of the gene pool. It's an old buck, it's heavy horn, but he's just not real good genetics. He called us up, said, hey, if you guys can get out here before the rut and bow hunt, I would really appreciate it. So we're here. He's also got a whitetail. And if we get a chance at it, we're going to take it as well. Just again, another just poor genetic deer. He wants it out of the herd. So we're just trying to do a favor for a friend. I know it's tough, right? A friend calls you up and says, hey, could you come out to Texas and shoot a couple deer for me? I mean, what are you going to do? So we're here. We're in the blind. We're set up. We've got a really good spot. We can catch them coming and going for a long way in either direction. Got shots from 40, 50 yards out all the way into 18, 20 yards. So hopefully we start seeing some movement tonight. Trail cam in this area shows that deer that we're looking for, our target buck. Probably going to be in here in the morning or the next morning. He's in here every couple of days, early a.m. So stay tuned. Hopefully it's a good hunt. Hopefully we can get some good footage for you guys, and hopefully we can do a good job for our friend and take just a poor buck out of the gene pool. So stay tuned. We'll be back.
So we set the blind up when we got there, and the muleys were kind of leery of it. They kind of shied away from it, and this first buck that came in actually spooked out and came back to us. The does didn't seem to mind it so much, but the bucks, they really didn't like that blind.
I know what you're thinking. How do you drive 8 hours and not shoot that buck right in front of you? Well, again, that wasn't our target buck. Our friend said, hey, could you come and hunt this one buck for me for a few days? Sure. You know, it happens. He's a good deer. He would have been a great first muley with a bow, but we had to let him pass.
Yeah, that deer's about 20 inches wide. It's not absolutely, I mean, if we didn't have a darker buck, you still know what we're looking for, don't think. It's a good deer, though. You have no idea how hard it was to not shoot that deer. I really want a muley, but we have a target buck. We have a buck, a specific buck the landowner wants us to take. And he asked us to give him 3 days to get that buck, and then we can shoot anything. It's day one. You know, I don't know if that's a really good muley, but he looked pretty good to me.
You know, when that deer came in the first time, having never taken a mule deer, I told myself, you know, he's really not that good of a deer. But when he came back in the second time, yeah, he's a pretty good deer. And again, I would have taken him any other situation, but I promised the landowner I would hunt this one specific buck for 3 days.
Can't shoot him till Tuesday. That's fine. Come Tuesday. Yeah, he's gonna be in the freezer. Oh, there's one behind him. That's a whitetail buck. You see him? Yeah. There you go. Oh, they've done that up. Yeah. Yeah, see, that looked about like the one I saw running here, the blue. Yeah, now that's a 2.5-year-old. That's not our goal. Can you see him in the video? Okay. Yeah, that's not that whitetail that wants us to shoot if we can. I'd call that one though if it was mine. Yeah, that's not a bad deer. It's just young. That's a 2.5-year-old deer. He's got, you can see he's short-nosed. Base of his horns are really small. Yeah. So we got out of the blind just a little early. Had some awesome action. Had a pretty good muley. Had a young, like 2.5-year-old whitetail came in, and he just kept blowing and blowing. As soon as he cleared, we decided to just go ahead and get out of the blind really quick while we got a little light. It's a long walk to the truck, but there's a lot of tracks in the road, so we're just going to kind of slow walk it, and that way we got a little bit of light in case we run into something. So we're just going to make our way to the truck, get back to the house for the night. It was a long day. We were up at 3:30 this morning, coming out of Missouri, hunting this afternoon in Texas. It's been an awesome afternoon. We've seen a couple muleys coming in. Like I said, pretty good mule deer there. Don't know much about them, but not our target buck, but we might encounter the target buck on the way out. So let's go.
So day 2 in Texas, what we had is what we get a lot out there, wind. Crazy amounts of wind, not a lot of deer movement all day. I think we had one small buck, a little fork or a little 6 or something came in, and that was really the only activity we had in a full day set. So on day 3, it's getting late, and our host had told us that in the evening, deer tend to come up and eat off the alfalfa bales staged behind the barn there on the ranch. So we decided to make our way up and set over these alfalfa bales. We saw a big muley coming in. Wasn't sure if it was our target buck or not, so we made our way, and when he broke out into the yard, well, it just happened to be a deer they call Big Jimmy. And he's like the family pet, and he eats off the front porch. And he's the one deer on the ranch that's an absolute no-shoot. So here we are, day 4. We gave our first 3 days to hunting a target buck. Now any buck on the ranch is fair to shoot. And when you know it, the first deer in that morning is our target buck. He doesn't like the blind. He fades out, he comes in, he fades out, and about his 3rd trip in, he finally gives us a shot.
Day 4 in Texas. So for the rest of our hunt, we could shoot anything, anything on the place. Our target buck came in here just before daylight. He kept coming in, looking at our blind set up and leaving, and come in. And the last time he came in, it was finally shooting light. We hadn't had time to do anything. And he started down over here. I'd pre-plotted all that with the rangefinder yesterday. Had him at 50. Felt good about it. Pulled it back. Let it fly. Not sure what happened on the shot. We haven't gone and checked the arrow. It just didn't look like I hit him. And it looked like I shot way low maybe. It sounded like the arrow pinged off a rock or something out there. So we're really not sure what happened there. We thought we had him at the right range. Re-ranged it. I'm not sure again what happened. So we're going to wait a little bit, go pick our arrow up, look at it, and we'll assess from there and go on. So we're just going to stay quiet here for a little bit. So stay tuned.
So we find my arrow, and it's got dorsal hair in it. So I hit high, and when we really slowed the footage down and looked at it, that buck dropped about 12 or 14 inches before that arrow went off. So he just ducked the string at 52 yards. I did have the right range. I made a shot that would have gotten the vitals had the deer been where the arrow got when it got there, if that makes sense. So the rest of the day, we just saw a couple dink bucks. I didn't want to shoot anything small because there's potential there. We hunted into the next morning, right off the bat, right at daylight. Had a big 5x5 muley busted us right at daylight, just as we're getting the camera gear ready to roll. Got no footage. About an hour later, I get a text from Shannon that says, "Hey, man, whitetail are really moving in Missouri right now." So we decided to go ahead and pack up on day 5 and make the trip back to Missouri because I had a couple more days off work and thought, hey, let's get in the whitetail woods in Missouri. And that's what we did. And that's not the end of our mule deer story. It's time to hunt whitetail in Missouri, but we're going to be back in Texas in 2022 to hunt those muleys with a rifle. There'll be none of this too far away next time. So until then, be safe, shoot straight, and we'll see you in the stand.